who came and said, we'd like to have a game down here, we used to say to them, you play the game the way we play the game, or you won't get invited back. You know, we use all 11 guys, so if you bat in the top 5, you don't bowl. And if you open the bowling, you bat down the bottom of the order. That's, everybody's coming out to play a game. So we made sure we did that.
About Shillingworth.
Yeah, Grayson Shillingford, the West Indian, had been playing league, and he came down one weekend and he said, I'd like to join you boys, you know. And we said, yeah, that's great, Grayson. So when do you want to play? Next Saturday? I got a space next Saturday. So Grayson would come out next Saturday and he said, so man, he says, what do you want me to do? And I said, so do you want to open the bowling?
Score.
And I said, well, Grayson, if you open the bowling, you'll probably go in number 10. He says, oh no, man. He says, I'm a number 5 or number 6 bat or whatever. So I said, great. So yeah, third change bowling. So from West Indies to third change.
That's the way.
That was how the club was developed. And of course, as you've got all of our wives and kids came down here, and the pool was, we all became summer members at the athletic centre, so my kids grew up here on weekends and were babysat by other people's more elderly kids, and so that group went through the whole of the 1980s socially on this, as I say, terrific adventure. So that was one thing that we were really good at. We were also very good at touring. We decided that in the early years that we would do a tour to England in 1980, and we had a guy called Barrett Singh who has his own cricket ground down in Guelph now, right on the Grand River, and Barrett would come and join us. Well, Barrett was a real cricketer, and he was a real keen cricketer, so we broke the YCC rule. Barrett could bat and bowl as much as he liked, because we were in the pub as much as we liked to most of the time. So we didn't fare too well that very first tour. We were outclassed in most of the games we played, and we worked out that we were far better off not playing in London against all the good town teams and the club teams, but we were better off in places like Somerset and Devon and Cornwall playing village cricket against village teams. And so between 1980 and 1996 we had 7 tours of England, and there were times again where we had 40 or 50 in the group that went over with all the wives and the kids. And by the end of all of that we had friends from London Cricket Club, Philadelphia Cricket Club, Ottawa, guys like Barrett who would join us on these tours, and we were winning as many games as we were losing when we played that cricket down there. So when we came back we were always preparing for the next tour of England, and we had to put up with little tours to Ottawa or weekends down in London, or we went down to Philadelphia with Philadelphia Cricket Club, or Cliff was reminding me we went down to Vermont to play in the Vermont Sixers one year from that. So we were all really good at that. We were really good at charity. That Lieutenant Governor's game we turned into an annual charity game, and year by year by year different people within the club would put their hand up to run it. God, you did it once, right? 4 times. 4 times. We passed it over to Frank, right? When Don got... Anyway, I don't know if you know about those Lieutenant Governor's games, but they used to be us against Toronto Cricket Club, and then it would be us against an Ontario Select 11, and we weren't good enough for that. So then we used to have 2 Ontario Select 11s play, and we would have a captain to make sure the games were played in the right spirit playing. But every year we would get across some English or West Indian or Indian international. So over that 10 years we went from having Edrich and Close and Farouk Engineer and Simonus and Basil Butcher and Rohan Kanai and Lance Gibbs and Garfield Sobers asking for a rum and coke at 10:30 in the morning. That little hut back there. He didn't go into the changing room. He got changed in that hut.
Sunny Gavaskar.
And at the end, Gavaskar, of course, was the one that brought the crowd in our last year.
They all played in the snow?
Yeah, who played it?
We changed the rule to allow them to be not out if they got out too early.
I remember Edrich got 50 and he said, I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
Bang!
So we had some amazing days down here, and I guess I think Don was it the Lieutenant Governor who put us on with the CPA, the Canadian Paraplegic Association. Was that why they became?
No, I think we had a long discussion. We chose
the CPA. It was Barbara Turnbull, wasn't it? It was quite the outstanding sort of charity. So we had some games here where we had the marquees up, and we literally had thousands of people come in for Gavaskar in particular. Right at the end of it all, that was probably
Canada was huge.
Did Shillingworth get a game?
Yes, Shillingford, Grayson Shillingford. Yeah, he opened the bowling for the Ontario. So pictures of those games? Don, you still got pictures? Frank, still got pictures? You got
They all
I've got a bunch
disappeared.
somewhere.
They all disappeared, didn't they? They were back.
We've got posters. I've got some posters from them.
Yeah.
Because they used to get them all to come in and sign all the posters.
We can actually put it up on the website.
Yeah, for every year.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we wanted to do this for charity, they would cost $100,
Yeah.
and then we'd give it to the paraplegic.
Yeah. Yeah, the CPA were actually very keen on us hosting it, not because we necessarily raised thousands of dollars, but we got it on TV and we got it in the local press. We would be on the front page of the Star and things like that over the course of the weekend. So when I go back to it and think, you know, in 1976 we played this pickup game at Brampton and the Flower Festival. In 1978 a bunch of us got together in one guy's house, and 10 or 12 years later we've got these internationals here in this field. We weren't, I don't think we ever thought of ourselves as great cricketers, but we loved playing the game. We loved the social aspects that came with it. The fact that that all the guys like Cliff and Henry and Noel, we used to play against them, right, for the teams they used to play for, and then over the years they would come touring with us, and then they would say, so we got space in York for us next year? And of course the worry was always that we were going to pinch players from all of these other clubs, and all the other clubs would fold and everybody would be down here looking for somebody to play against. But that never did quite happen. But we still have lots of friends. In a couple of weeks' time we're going down to play one of our annual little golf days just north of London, Ontario, which we started years and years ago after we used to go for our weekends playing golf there. And we always have one or two of the London guys come up and play golf with us up there as well. So we've made lots of amazing friends over the years. Jeff was always the guy who was saying, we should have written this down. So we never did, but we get together in the pub every once in a while, and somebody remembers a story.
Everything gets better anyway.
Yeah.
We don't need the written word, we just need this.
Stories, and so we've had some wonderful years, and we're absolutely thrilled that, yeah, most of us came to the end of our careers. I was telling Cliff that when we came back from the tour in 1996, we used to have England versus the rest of the world as our Intra-Club game at the end of the year. And England won that most years, I'd have to say.
No way!
And anyway, Cliff knocked one up in the air to me at mid-on, and I settled under this ball in 1996. And he dropped it. And the ball hit me there, and I dropped it. And I think that was the first catch at mid-on I'd ever dropped in my life.
The first catch I ever gave.
Except for if you can't take those catches, you better leave. So,
What's your most vivid cricketing memory across all those years?
probably Mike Giles. Where's Mike?
Hiding.
We played a game in England. It was Lansbury. It was a very famous cricket ground, Shell, in London. And we knew that we weren't very good, and we'd had some low scores, and I went to spin up against the Lansbury skipper, and he won the toss, and of course I was going to put them in, and he said, well, touring team always bats first. I thought, oh Christ, you know, the game's going to be over by lunch. It was starting at 11 o'clock. So I got Giles and I said to Giles, Giles, I don't want to see you before lunch. So for the next 2 hours, Giles, usually a number 6 or 7 bat, who went. And there was this sound that came from the bowlers and the slips for the next 1.5 hours. It went something like. Anyway, Giles came back 1.5 or 2 hours later at 1 not out. And said, job done, Skip. So we got a million stories like that, and I think all of us really enjoyed our years here, and we're thrilled that you've carried it on and do so for many more years to come. We hope that happens.
Thank you very much, Hal. It's, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of stories that you know you can catch up with. So, and we'd love to hear.
Dave, I just want to recognize Asia and Romain for doing.
Oh, the wives.
All the volunteers who brought the food, you guys made it happen.
So eat up, there's plenty of food left, and we'll go on with the second part of it.